Hey everyone, Ryan here. Another social skills video today on humour. I've been coaching social skills full-time for over 12 years now, and humour is one of the main areas that we coach, how to be funny in social situations. So I'm going to be giving you an exercise, one of the social skills exercises. You may be familiar with the concept of what a social skills exercise is if you've watched some of our other videos. This one's going to be about humour. I'd recommend that you watch the previous video that I posted on what actually makes stuff funny in the first place first to get a bit of better understanding if you haven't watched that already. This exercise, you can practice it by yourself or you can also practice it with people that you know. So I've developed about 120 different social skills exercises that are designed to train your brain to be sharper and faster at certain thought processes that help you to do good at social skills. The same way, if you throw a ball up and down in the air lots of times, your hand-eye coordination is going to get better. If you play a sport that involves that ball, if it's baseball or something perhaps, you'll be better at catching a baseball as a result of the practice. So that's what this is, kind of along the same lines. This exercise is a bit different to some of the others in that it is a throwaway exercise. So this exercise is more for people who are very, very bad at humour, who either don't use humour at all and never make any jokes at all, or see themselves as not very good at all at humour. If you think you're okay or above at humour already, then I would suggest to not practice this exercise and not watch this video and go away. So there's another video that I'm going to post, probably already posted by the time you watch this, or you are, and that exercise is really good for practicing humour. However, all of the humour exercises are a bit difficult if you're someone who doesn't use humour at all, because it's not something that everyone is good at, but you can learn to be good at it, hence I coach it in the first place. So this one is like a transition exercise. If you're someone who's not very good at using humour, then I'd practice this. Once you find this exercise quite easy, I would stop practicing this one and move on to the next one, which is called funny examples, and hopefully we'll have some links popping up to it that you can click if you want to go to it now. So for those of you who've done your social skills homework and have watched the last video, you may be familiar with this diagram here, which is a big part of the explanation of what actually makes stuff funny. So in the middle you've got boring, then outside of that you've got normal, then interesting, then funny, then weird, but better than normal still, weird, but better than boring still, and then outside of a circle is now it's too weird. So you definitely want to be risking being too weird, not risking being too boring. That's a much better choice for a bunch of different reasons. I'm not going to go on too much of a tangent and explain every single detail why, but the common thing that I found among people from my over 12 years of experience coaching social skills who never really use humour at all is that the thing they all had in common was, and is, that the idea of answering a question wrong on purpose never even seems to occur to them as an option that they can choose even. So people tend to be very conditioned in our society, in I think probably all parts of the world at the moment, to be very logical and focusing on the normal way of answering something. And some people to such an extent that if you ask a question to them, the very concept of answering a question wrong on purpose is something that doesn't even occur to them in their minds. So this exercise is designed to undo that, and I call this exercise wrong answers. So here's how to do the exercise. What you do is first you think of a question you can use. This can be any question in the world, as long as you know what the answer is to the question. So it could be what's 2 + 2, it could be what's your name, it could be what's the weather like today, what's the biggest whale in the world, what continent is Germany in, stuff like that. Any question at all. And then what you do is you think of 3 answers to the question, but these need to be wrong answers to the question. We're practicing giving wrong answers on purpose. And the reason for that is because people who have their mind stuck very inside of normal and therefore also boring a lot of the time and never use humor at all, those people rather than aiming for being funny straight away, which can be quite difficult for those kinds of people and kind of deflate their motivation, I found, if they're trying to aim to learn humour straight away. This is a good stepping stone by stretching their mind outside of the normal circle and trying on purpose to hit too weird, okay? So this isn't something I'd recommend doing in a social situation. This is purely a mental training exercise to make your mind reach out further outside of the normal answers. Too far is what we're aiming for initially, and too far should be easier because any question has an unlimited variation of different wrong answers that you can give to it. If you take 2 plus 2, the only right answer is 4, surely, or I guess we could say it's 3 plus 1 or something like that. But the variation of different correct answers that you can give is small. The wrong answers might include carrots, the Egyptian Empire, the Mercedes-Benz, and James Bond. These are all wrong answers to 2 plus 2. So the variation of different wrong answers is huge. The variation of different funny answers you can give is also smaller, so it's harder to hit that. So this is an easier exercise and why it's a stepping stone exercise. So what you do is you have a question and then you think of at least 3 each time answer to the question that are definitely wrong, and you want them to be, they need to be wrong enough, not just a bit wrong. So a way that you can measure that is, do you honestly think if you asked 100 random people, every single one of them would all agree that this is the wrong answer? That's how wrong it needs to be. So you can check that just by seeing whether that's your opinion or not. If you asked 100 people chosen at random who can speak your language or whatever, then do you think all 100 of them would say that is the wrong answer? If so, then this answer is wrong enough. So again, as I said, I'm not recommending to do this in a social situation. This is a transition exercise for people who are terrible at humour, either are not funny at all, don't use jokes at all, or do a bit, but they see themselves as not very good at all at it. So if you're in that bracket, this exercise is good for you. And I'd practice this until you start to find it easy. Once you can do it quickly, then I'd move on to the next exercise, which I'm going to post in another video. So in order to practice the exercise, you can practice it in your mind whenever, when you're laying down in bed, when you're waiting for a bus, you're waiting for something to load on the computer, whatever's going on. You can quickly practice it. Think of a question, think of 3 different wrong answers. If you want to if you're more serious about improving your social skills, I'd recommend to do that, but also to sometimes write down first a bunch of different questions and then do the exercise. When you do the answers, don't write the answers down. You want to either think them in your mind or say them out loud, because that's more realistic to a real social situation. And you always want to be training to be fast for social situations. Fast thinking is way better than perfect or high quality thinking. That's the main reason of many reasons why nerds do worse at social skills, despite being smart. So you can do that, and you can time yourself as well if you want to. And once you get to the point where you're quite fast and confident of this exercise, which is definitely doable, this isn't a very difficult exercise to do, is because it's literally just anything other than the right answers. There's so many different choices. It might be difficult at first, but you can definitely train your mind to do it. Once you're able to do that, then go to the next exercise, funny examples, which at the moment I think is the best humour exercise. And I haven't seen anyone talk anywhere else talking about this type of humour, which I use loads and loads and loads. One quick tip is a lot of people I've found who find this exercise hard at first. They tend to be not thinking of something that's totally irrelevant. So perhaps a question could be, what's the best way to get to the train on time? So one wrong answer might be to use a skateboard rather than a car, because that's slower, right? But you could get more wrong than that, totally irrelevant to the whole thing entirely. Instead of that, you could say a cheese grater, or by using mice or balloons. I guess balloons you could float there. So yeah, so some people aren't thinking quite irrelevant enough. So as I said, this is a transition exercise. So what I mean by that, again, is someone who sees themselves as not very good at all at humour, to practice for exercises for humour is a lot of the time is a bit too difficult for them realistically. So this exercise is a nice stepping stone to get to the point where they can start to use humour. And yes, it is possible to learn to be funny. I've coached loads of people to be funny. I've got more funny from the stuff that I've worked out in my social skills coaching. Obviously, if you're able to become 0.01% more funny than you are already, which obviously is the case, you're able to do that, then all you need to do is just keep doing that, and then you get more and more funny. So I'm not recommending to do this in a real social situation, as I've already said, because you're purposely aiming at too weird, which is bad. You want to hit that sweet spot between normal and too weird, or funny and interesting most of the time, or weird in a good way. So once you start to get good at this exercise, stop practicing it and do the next one. If you're already pretty good at the humour, or even if you're just okay or above, I'd recommend not using this exercise and go to the funny examples exercise. Link should be here, hopefully. So thanks for watching. And if you want to make the world a better place, which is my aim is to make the world a better place through helping people with their social skills. If one person levels up their social skills, they're then going to have a positive impact on loads of other people who they then go and interact with and cause good emotions everywhere, and have people misunderstand each other less and learn from each other more, etc., etc. So go practice this, unless, like I said, you're already okay at humour or above, then don't do the next one. And if you want to support what I'm doing, then obviously like the video, comment, subscribe. We also do one-to-one coaching for social skills as well. So if you really want to level up your social skills, we do that including a free trial session. So a free trial session is just half an hour, it's for free. And all you have to do is go to the website, socialshortcuts.com. There should be a link in the description as well. And just fill in the form and we'll get back to you. We also have a WhatsApp group chat if you want to join it. I'm in there, we discuss social skills, I answer people's questions, other people answer each other's questions. Again, there'll be a link. And finally, we have a video course on how to not run out of things to say and how to overcome your nerves to go speak to people. So there'll be a link to that in the description as well if you want to get more information about it. So stay tuned. The next video I'm posting will be that exercise that I just mentioned, funny examples. And if you practice it, you will laugh a lot because you're obviously generating things that are funny, and therefore you're also likely to find it funny as well. So stay tuned.